everyone, and welcome to another video following our travels. I'm Rachel.
I'm John.
And we are the Traveling Trails. We've quit our jobs about 2.5 months ago, and we are traveling around Southeast Asia currently.
For those of you who've been following along, you know we've been traveling through Vietnam. We've gone all the way from north to south, so now we're finally to our last stop, Saigon, or Ho Chi Minh as it's newly called. We're very excited to get to Saigon. A whole ton of history, Vietnam War. This is where a lot of the, the museums, the tunnels are all located. Coming into Saigon, we had been taking 2 long trains, so we splurged a little bit. Took a plane ride. I'm not sure if you would say that was actually a good idea.
Oh, it was definitely a good idea. Saved us on time, saved us on heartache, and frankly 2 trains was enough for me in Vietnam. We're only 2.5 months in of what we hope is a 10-month adventure. So like and subscribe, and let's jump into the video.
So we're at the Nha Trang airport, and our flight has already been delayed for an hour. So they gave us a free meal, banh mi soup at this place right here. But the flight was supposed to start boarding in 10 minutes. So I think Rachel's excited. So how are you feeling, Rachel?
Level of chaos.
You think the banh mi is worth it?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's gotta be worth it.
I'm not hungry.
The
plane is literally supposed to take off in 10 minutes, but it still says check-in closed. So at this point, I'm just like, what?
We can't pass up a free meal.
No, I mean, if it's free and if it's food, like 0% chance.
Where are we?
Independence Palace.
We're at Independence Palace. This was the home base for South Vietnam during the war. Really interesting to see all the different rooms and architecture from the late 60s, early 70s. But also to kind of get more of an understanding of how the North and South of Vietnam were, how they joined, and the US's role in the entire Vietnam War. Very educational, and I think the theme of Saigon or Ho Chi Minh for us is going to be learning more about the Vietnam War.
I think that was really worth doing, very interesting. We were able to walk through some of the actual rooms where they lived. We saw where the actual bombs dropped, which that was very cool to see. Kind of eerie walking through the bunker. I think the only negative part was I had to share a headset with Rachel the entire time, so we're almost attached to the hip. But other than that, a really good experience. I think we should go get a beer. I heard they have their craft breweries close, so go for a cold beer after that.
We took a day trip out to see the Cu Chi tunnels, part of the guerrilla warfare that was used by the Viet Cong during the Vietnam War. The Cu Chi tunnels are famous for people trying to go through them, and let's just say me and John have an attempt later. John and I were considering going into this hideout until this absolute legend let us know we definitely shouldn't.
We've reached halfway point of our tour. If you are any sort of veteran, I do not suggest doing this. As you can hear, there's a shooting range not 20 meters from us where they're shooting AK-47s, M16s right here. It is incredibly loud, terrifying. Unfortunately, in a weird artistic way, brings a realness to this place, because as you're touring, you can hear these being shot in the background.
And now the time has come to see if we're actually going to do these Coochie tunnels. To be honest, we were pretty petrified. By we, I mean definitely me. We had heard that these were quite small, and the farther in you got, the smaller they got. So we were quite nervous, and also they're just kind of creepy.
You gotta crouch.
No fucking way.
Hey, going.
Oh wait, you tapped out.
You were the side meter.
Where's the other look and then see how you feel? I'll just break off, please. Yep.
You have a look first.
So if you don't know, John's nervous tic is he coughs whenever he gets in a bind, and he just coughed. Also, if you listen going forward, you can hear me saying, "You're okay," when actually I'm just trying to make myself feel better. So here we go.
You're okay. You're okay. You like it? Is that the out?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's good.
See one time, you see them all.
I hated every second of that. How do you feel after that tiny tunnel? I followed you. You were crushing it.
I don't know, I just kind of went for it.
White t-shirt too. Bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, I was trying to keep this clean, but it didn't happen. I think at one point, I mean, I was obviously videoing, but I was just crawling. At every first exit, we were like, let's go. The whole time you were like behind me, you were like, turn around, John. It's alright if you're gonna turn around. I was like, can you please pull it together, Rachel?
Begging you to turn around, so.
Yeah, glad we did at least.
Yeah. There we go. Coochie tunnels.
We celebrated being done by going to our favorite, a market. The next day, we continued our Vietnam War history tour and made our way to the War Remnants Museum. It's packed with information and stories from both Vietnamese and U.S. veterans. My favorite section highlighted all the journalists from America, Vietnam, and around the world who covered the war, and their work, including photos, printed articles, and interviews. It was really interesting to see the special exhibit highlighting U.S. veterans against the war and take a look back at that iconic time and movement. It was a pretty heavy day and left us heavy-hearted, but it was definitely worth it and extremely educational. Many of you know we love to follow somebody feed Phil, and we went to some of the spots from the Saigon episode. We went to find the birds in the park, but found out they moved to a coffee shop across the street. It was lovely starting our day with a Finn coffee and the locals who raise their birds and bring them here to learn new songs. We then made our way over to Maison Maru, and sure enough, you are greeted with the smell of roasting chocolate as you peruse the store. This is a place that makes Vietnamese chocolate right from Vietnam. John went with the iced chocolate, and I went for the behemoth chocolate milkshake, and both were absolutely divine. We spent all afternoon taking down our sweet treats and watching the chocolate masters make beautiful pastries and candy bars, so naturally we ended up walking out with a chocolate bar for the road. For dinner, we stopped by Khao Ba Quan, or I think that's how you say it. John got the iconic shrimp Le Country boil, and I got the happy salad, which she actually renamed after the show. And as you can see, I am quite happy. Like Phil, we also found our way to a beautiful rooftop one night and enjoyed the skyline and sunset. We went for Social Club Rooftop at the M Gallery Hotel.
So it's our last day in Vietnam. 30 days have flown by for sure. Of course, last day we gotta get one more breakfast fun, keep the tradition going. Then we're gonna see some final sights. I think we got the post office, opera house, the knockoff Notre Dame. So final day. I'm sure it's gonna be a great day.
Are you gonna send a letter?
Well, we are in the post office, but I guess I have two concerns. First, I don't really remember how to address a letter, and I guess the second concern is the Vietnamese English thing. So I just don't think that would go well, and so I'll probably just stick to text message and the usual routes of communication.
That makes sense.
Pretty post office though.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, I guess just like Paris, it's in scaffolding. So
Just as beautifully as you imagined.
so beautiful. I really love the silver on the outside.
Scaffolding really brings in all the ancient features together.
Yeah.
Good run at the opera house.
Good run.
You got kicked out. You got kicked out within 5 minutes.
5 minutes, they're like, you can't be in here. But they said it was smiling faces, so I'll take that. But we got to go in and see it. I don't even know if you technically are allowed to just go in there and see it, but we did, so that's cool.
Just walk in.
There's going to be a competition of some sort, so here we are.
Good 5-minute run of the view of the opera house.
Yep. We're really crushing the attractions today. Less than 5 minutes at each before we're escorted out.
All right.
Meat wrapped gravely, and then we're gonna roll it with some rice paper and some fish sauce. And naturally, we've gotten a local beverage to go with it. Here we go.
Are you actually tired of Vietnamese food?
It's pretty dang
30 days of Vietnamese food.
30 days of Vietnamese food. I think we broke twice. We had meat and fries one night, and we had a wrap. Oh, and then we had the French place. So we broke 3 times. 3 meals. But the rest of the time, the local cuisine.
All right, let's eat.
Took a taxi from the hotel. We are leaving Vietnam after 30 full days here. I think so far one of the more challenging, but also rewarding and just great time. Really great time. Vietnam was on John's big bucket list of places to visit. Bali's on my big bucket list, so I'm really excited to see what happens. So let's return our visas and go to Bali.
All right, let's do it.